People love to say the truth is out there, but the darker reality is this. The truth is usually buried under layers of noise, and when it comes to aliens, secrecy, and governments, the noise is not accidental. It's the perfect environment for stories to mutate, spread, and return stronger every time they're reposted. Because right now there's one claim that refuses to die. A claim that keeps resurfacing in cycles, dressed up as a fresh leak, even though the original story is older than most people realize. It's a story that claims humanity already has an agreement with non-human intelligence. Not someday, not in theory, already. And the most viral version of this story pulls one name into the center of the storm: Donald Trump. Now, to be absolutely clear from the start, this episode is not here to tell you aliens are confirmed. It's not here to sell fantasy. This is a documentary-style investigation into why this claim went viral, what exactly is being alleged, what the public record does and does not support, and why the idea of disclosure is becoming one of the most powerful modern myths on Earth. Because the real mystery isn't only whether the claim is true, the real mystery is why the world keeps wanting it to be true. The basic storyline in its most popular form is simple. A former high-ranking insider, someone with serious credentials in aerospace and defense circles, reportedly claimed there's a Galactic Federation, a coalition of non-human species, and that governments have been interacting with them behind the scenes. The claim goes further, that some countries traded cooperation for technology, that this relationship has existed for decades, and that at least one US president was eager to reveal it publicly, but was persuaded to delay because the world wasn't ready. That last part is where the story becomes irresistible, because it isn't just aliens. It's aliens plus politics, aliens plus secrecy, aliens plus the promise of a dramatic reveal. It's the kind of narrative that doesn't just get watched. It gets shared, it gets argued about. It gets turned into memes, threads, reaction videos, and endless what-if conversations that keep the engine running. But a story that spreads easily is not the same thing as a story that's true. So let's slow down and dissect what we actually have here. First, let's talk about the person at the center of the claim. The viral versions often describe him as a major figure in an established space program, someone who spent decades in positions connected to aerospace development and national security. This matters because most people are trained to evaluate truth through authority. If a random stranger says, "I saw a UFO," you shrug. If someone with a decorated career says, "There's more going on," you pause. And that pause is where the story enters your mind. Because credentials don't prove a claim, but they make the claim feel expensive. They make it feel like it costs something to say. And when a claim feels expensive, people assume it's less likely to be fake. That's a dangerous mental shortcut. History is full of brilliant people who believed incorrect things. It's full of respected professionals who repeated rumors, misunderstood what they heard, or interpreted incomplete information as certainty. And in a world where attention is currency, it's also full of people who discovered that one extraordinary statement can outshine an entire lifetime of ordinary achievements. So the question becomes, what exactly was claimed and how was it supported? The Galactic Federation narrative is often presented like a leaked intelligence document, but publicly it is circulated mostly as statements and retellings. There is no universally accepted public package of hard evidence attached to it that independent investigators can verify. No authenticated files released to the public, no material that can be tested, no chain of custody that would survive serious scrutiny. And in investigations like this, chain of custody is everything. Because if a claim can't be traced, verified, and examined, it lives in the world of stories, not the world of proof. Still, the story persists, and it persists for a reason, because it connects to something real, the modern UAP era. In the past few years, governments and institutions that once dismissed UFO talk as pure nonsense have been forced to acknowledge a simpler reality. There are objects and events in the sky that are not immediately identifiable. Sometimes they turn out to be mundane. Sometimes they remain unresolved due to limited data. But the discussion has moved from "this is all crazy" to "we need better reporting, better tracking, and better analysis." That shift is important. It creates oxygen for every claim, both serious and ridiculous. It creates an environment where older stories feel more believable, because people assume the world is finally catching up to what insiders always knew. And this is exactly where the Galactic Federation story thrives. It rides the wave of legitimate uncertainty and transforms it into a complete narrative. It takes the fact that we don't have all the answers and replaces that gap with a cinematic explanation. Secret alliances, hidden programs, and presidents who almost revealed the truth. So let's examine the Trump angle carefully, because it's the most emotionally charged part. Trump, whether people love him or hate him, occupies a space in American culture unlike any other modern president. His supporters see him as a disruptor, someone willing to break norms and expose hidden agendas. His critics see him as chaotic and unpredictable. Either way, he's the perfect character for a disclosure story because he fits the archetype, the outsider who might say what others won't. In storytelling terms, he's a perfect vessel, but storytelling is not evidence. The idea that Trump was about to reveal aliens is almost impossible to confirm from the outside, because even if a government had secrets, it would rarely announce them in a way that can be independently proven, and it's also easy for rumors to attach themselves to powerful names. That's how rumors become heavy. That's how they gain gravitational pull. The truth is, a story can become famous without becoming true. In fact, fame often replaces truth in the human mind. Once millions of people have seen a claim, it starts to feel real simply because it exists everywhere. Repetition creates credibility, even when the underlying evidence hasn't changed. And this is where we meet the most important rule in modern information warfare. If you can't prove it, you can still spread it. So why do so many people want this claim to be real? Because it solves multiple anxieties at once. First, it transforms chaos into order. If the world feels out of control, the idea of a hidden federation suggests someone, somewhere, has been managing the situation. It suggests that history has a secret direction and that behind the curtain, there's a plan. Second, it offers an upgrade to humanity's identity. Instead of being alone in a cold universe, we become part of a larger civilization. We become the junior members of a cosmic community. That's comforting, even if the implication is frightening. Third, it offers the ultimate reveal. Humans are addicted to the moment when the lights come on and everything makes sense. That's why conspiracies are attractive. They promise a single key that unlocks every door. But the universe rarely works that way. Real discoveries are messy. Real science is slow. Real disclosure, if it ever happens, would likely be gradual, bureaucratic, and anticlimactic, more like a dull report than a Hollywood speech. And that's exactly why the internet prefers the leak. The leak is dramatic. The leak is emotional. The leak feels like forbidden knowledge. Now let's take a step back and ask a hard question. Could governments be hiding something about UAPs? It's possible. Governments hide things constantly, especially in defense and intelligence. Sometimes they hide capabilities. Sometimes they hide mistakes. Sometimes they hide vulnerabilities. Sometimes they hide information simply because they don't want rivals to know what they've seen or how they track it. But hiding something is a wide category. It could mean they have sensor data they don't want to release. It could mean they suspect certain sightings involve foreign technology. It could mean they don't understand something and don't want to admit it. Those are all plausible. A multi-species federation running a joint base with humans, trading technology in exchange for cooperation, is a much more specific claim. And specific claims demand specific evidence. So when people say, well, the insider had credentials, the correct response is, credentials can tell you someone is worth listening to, but they don't replace proof. And there's another possibility. Most viral videos ignore misinterpretation. Stories like this often travel across languages and cultures. They pass through headlines, summaries, clipped quotes, and social media posts that compress complex statements into one dramatic sentence. Every time the story is compressed, it becomes more extreme because extreme stories travel faster. And that's how you end up with a 5-year-old interview being reposted as if it happened yesterday, with captions like, breaking, just leaked, confirmed, even when nothing new was added. That's not disclosure. That's recycling. So why does this matter to you watching this right now? Because the alien topic is entering a new phase. The old phase was pure ridicule. Anyone who brought it up got laughed out of the room. The new phase is something else. It's institutional attention mixed with mass internet obsession. That combination creates a unique danger. Real questions get drowned in fake answers. Real anomalies get buried under manufactured certainty. And in that confusion, the public becomes easier to manipulate by grifters, by propaganda, by attention seekers, and by anyone who wants to steer the narrative for money or power. If we want to be serious about the possibility of non-human intelligence, the standard has to rise, not fall. So how do you evaluate a claim like the Galactic Federation story without becoming cynical or gullible? You ask 3 questions. First, what exactly is being claimed? Is it a vague statement like there's something out there, or a detailed claim like there's a coalition of species and a treaty? The more detailed the claim, the more evidence it should produce. Second, what is the evidence and can it be independently verified? Not someone said it, not a person is respected. Evidence that can be tested, authenticated, and examined by multiple experts. Third, what would we expect to see if it were true? Would there be consistent corroboration from multiple unrelated sources? Would the story change over time or remain stable? Would there be measurable consequences in policy, technology, or public documentation? When a claim produces nothing measurable over years, you have to consider the possibility that it is not a leak, but a legend. Now here's the part that makes this story especially fascinating. Even if the Galactic Federation claim is not true as described, it still reveals something real about the world. It reveals how hungry people are for a new story of reality. In the 20th century, space was a frontier of optimism. In the 21st century, space has become a frontier of uncertainty. People watch rockets, satellites, AI, and geopolitical tension, and they sense something coming. They sense that civilization is on the edge of a transformation. And when people sense a transformation, they search for a symbol. Aliens are the ultimate symbol of transformation. They represent the unknown future. They represent technology beyond our control. They represent the possibility that humanity is not the main character of the universe. So when someone says, "There's a federation," it's not just a claim. It's a storyline that slots perfectly into the psychology of the moment. But we have to separate psychology from proof. So where does that leave us? It leaves us in a place that's honestly uncomfortable. We don't know. We don't know whether there is hidden data that would change everything. We don't know whether certain cases involve technologies we don't understand. We don't know whether any part of these extraordinary claims will ever be validated. What we do know is this: the discussion is no longer going away. The public is demanding clarity. Institutions are being pushed to address it, and the internet is turning every whisper into a headline. That means the next phase of this story won't be decided by who shouts "leak" the loudest. It'll be decided by what can be verified. And if there is ever a real disclosure moment, it won't look like a viral clip with dramatic music. It'll look like a trail of documents, data, and confirmations that withstand scrutiny. It'll be slow at first, then unavoidable. Until then, stories like the Galactic Federation are a test. Not a test of whether aliens exist, but a test of whether we can handle uncertainty without inventing certainty. So, here's my conclusion, stated clearly. The Galactic Federation story is one of the most viral modern alien narratives because it combines authority, secrecy, politics, and the promise of revelation. But as it exists in public circulation, it remains unverified. And unverified doesn't mean false. It means unproven. It means it belongs in the category of claims that should be examined, not worshipped. And the Trump angle, as viral as it is, should be treated the same way, as a narrative element that makes the story spread, not as proof that the story is true. The real question isn't, what if it's all real? The real question is, what would it take to prove it? Because the day we stop asking for proof is the day the internet becomes our reality. And that's the most dangerous alien invasion of all. Now I want to hear your theory. Do you think the Galactic Federation claim is a real leak that can't be proven yet, or a story that the internet learned to recycle forever? Comment, leak, or loop. And if you want the next episode, we're going deeper into what real disclosure would look like, what signals to watch for, and how to separate legitimate investigation from viral mythology. Because if there's one thing this topic teaches us, it's this: the universe is big, the truth is complicated, and the moment we finally learn what's out there, it won't just change what we know about space, it will change what we know about ourselves.